All right, hello everyone, and peace of Christ to all. Today, our news review, and we will analyze some event happening around us, especially in the Middle East. All of us we heard about that the Kurdish in Kurdistan in Iraq, they are going to vote for independence, and obviously this is a very unpleasant news for countries around them. So today we'll try to look together and see what is really the unique about what's happening or this event. You know, the Kurdistan once they were able to have a state, but was in the World War II, and when the Soviet Union expanded, they were able to collapse that state. But it was not really in Iraq. However, the Kurdish, as we see in the front of us, this is a map for the population of the Kurdish. And if we look together, we will see that the Kurdish are spread in more than one country, actually, at least in 4 countries. Now, for sure, there's countries all around the world, you know, but we are talking about where the Kurdish are considered a big population. When we say big population, still they are minority in some countries, but they count millions. As an example, the Kurdish in Iran is about 8 million. The Kurdish in Iraq is 5 million. The Kurdish in Syria is 2 million. The Kurdish in Turkey is 18 million. Now that is not a good news for many countries, and those people obviously they are seeking their independence. Now, what is new about the Kurdish? Why the Kurdish right now or today they are trying to seek to establish a citizenship and a country and nationality, while they were always under the command of the neighbors? You know, when religion value take over, nationalism go down, and I'm talking about Islam specifically. If the religion is Islam is taken over, nobody dare to speak about his nationality. Remember, Muhammad, he fought that, and he said it clearly, if somebody is, even the Arab, if he is proud about his heritage before Islam, say to him, go and bite the penis of your father. You know, Muhammad is a savage man, so he used a very disgusting language. So what's happening right now is the Kurdish finally, by the help of USA, this is the only benefit actually from the war which done by George Bush in Iraq. The Kurdish were able to have their own. Yes, they are part of Iraq, but they are now independent. Yes, they don't have a state by their own, but they have their own government, they have their own army, they have their own ministers. So it was a step, big step, huge one, by the help of George Bush to establish what is called today the Kurdistan. Otherwise, this will be a dream, will never happen. Now, because the Kurdish, they suffer a lot from the Arab and from the Muslims, the Kurdish today, they are far away from Islam and they hate it. Additional to their hate to the Arab because of the discrimination they face from the Arab through centuries. Additional to their hate to the Turkish because of discrimination they face through centuries. Same to Iran. But now the Kurdish are trying to establish an, you know, like their own state, which is going to be a secular state, and obviously Islam have no place in it. And the Christianity is growing in Kurdistan like fire. You know, there's a lot of Kurdish people converting to Christianity, and there's no doubt about this. So now all those countries around the Kurdish population, all of them, they are trying to fight as much as they can establishment of the Kurdistan in Iraq. And for sure, the first one to do that is Turkey and Iran. Now, this is the location where the Kurdish are in Iraq, and then they continue actually here, and almost they control all the way to here in Syria. This is already under their physical control by arm, not just population. In other countries, the Kurdish, they have no control, like Iran or Turkey. If you look with me in the map, you will see that those yellow dots, every dot count 1,000,000 in this map. Every yellow dot, it count 1,000,000 in that map. So now, what is really unique about this, and why it is scary for many countries around? If the Kurdish were able to establish what it's called Kurdistan Iraq, that means soon the Kurdistan of Syria, they will unite with Kurdistan of Iraq, and soon the Kurdistan of Iran will unite with the Kurdistan of Iraq, and then the Kurdistan of Turkey, which is 18 million at least. At least. Actually, I believe it's more. Things is not looking good for Turkey specifically, and for Iran, and for the rest. But the important for us, me as a Christian, that Kurdistan is already opening the door for Christian missionaries, and a lot of Kurdish convert into Christianity. And actually, I just saw a video, I wish I can play it for you, how Kurdish people, they are making fun of Muhammad, and they have a flag of Israel and the flag of Kurdistan in the floor, and they were kissing the flag of Israel and saying Allahu Akbar, which means this is their Akbar, you know, which means Islam is bye-bye. Everybody saying they are against this independent of Kurdistan. And when I say everybody, almost everybody, even Trump official, like the foreign minister, etc., they mentioned that they are against this independent. But is that true? I mean, how in the world anyone in the world would believe that what they are saying in public is true? Obviously, number one supporters for the independence of the Kurdistan is the Israeli and the American, and the reason of that is very important. You see, right now Israel, they do not need to fight Iran from here. They do not need that. They can fight Iran from here, and that will give a very strategic defense ability to the Israeli. And I believe strongly the first thing the Israeli will do, they will put their defense system, the Doom system, in this Kurdish territory, so any missiles will try to go and fly into Israel is going to be destroyed long before it arrives. Please focus with me in the topic. We are not here for joking. If you are not interested, you can leave. So if the Israeli are able to establish their defense system here, and for sure when the Kurdish they have their independent, they will be happy to have such a distance, such a system installed in their territory, because that will give them more security against Turkey, against Iraq, against all the enemies around. So this is a very important to Israel. This is like a treasure. It's like the Israeli today, they won the lotto of the world. So this is very important to happen. Same time, right now the Turkish, they are starting to threat the Kurdish that even they might do an army attack on them. And you know, the Kurdish are controlling all this area, not controlling by arm, but they are the total population. So the reason Turkey are so worried, if those Kurdish they got their independent and they got their state, those Kurdish will not accept to stay as part of Turkey no more. And we are talking about 18 millions Kurdish in Turkey. And I believe this is the first step of the future destruction of Turkey. Turkey will be destroyed because Turkey, for those who do not know, there's 18 millions Kurdish, yes, but there's more than 21 millions Alawi too. And those Alawi are considered the same as Shia, and they don't really care for Islam. Alawi, they are not even, we even cannot call them Shia. They drink vodka more than water. Their women, they don't have a mosque. The mosque is a place to like for a funeral only, like funeral house. They don't pray, they don't care for Islam. They are just, by name they are Muslims, the same as the Alawite in Syria. So what's happening here, that we are going to face very soon a lot of fights between the Kurdish and between the neighbors, and all the neighbors are against it. Now here, just to show you the hypocrisy of those who call themselves Muslim, and specifically the Arab. Muslims are asking for the Palestinian, as they call them, independent. And they keep saying, okay, let us give them the vote. Shouldn't people vote if they want to be part of Israel or not? Look how hypocrite they are. They support independent state for Palestinians, and they say, let us see who want to stay with Israel, who don't want to stay with Israel. And then they don't accept the same equality of right to those who they are Kurdish. Islamic countries always, they have a double standard. They are talking about who? As an example, the Saudi, they want to fight the Assad regime. He is bombing his people, etc., because they don't want him. They want a democracy. They don't want, which is a big garbage. There's nobody there want democracy. All those are Islamic militant. They are Al Qaeda and ISIS. In the same time, the Saudi, they rejected the election where those who support the Shia in Yemen, they won the election. And they wage war against the Shia in Yemen. So it is not allowed to do so in Syria for the government to defend their right to stay, but it's allowed for the government, for Saudi, to replace a government by a government of their wish. So what's happening now, that Syria, the government of Syria, for sure is not happy to see Kurdistan is getting their independence. So they have forces against it. Let us make the ones who are against in a blue. Those are in blue. The Syrian forces against the Kurdish, the Iranian forces against the Kurdish, the Iraqi forces against the Kurdish, and the Turkey forces against the Kurdish. Now who's left? Almost all their neighbors are against them. The only friend who is not against them is the Israeli. And as I say, this is very, very important for the Israeli, because now the Israeli, they can establish their army base inside Kurdistan, which is going to be the front line to fight Iran, and then all the missiles of Iran is useless, because before even they fly to pass over Syria to hit Israel, long before that they have at least alarm system which can make them able to destroy their missiles long before they arrive to Israel. Now Trump and his team, they said we are against it, but I believe that this is a big fat lie. I believe it. Trump is saying to the Kurdish, yes, do it, yes, but in the this is under the table, But above the table, we are against this. We are asking the Kurdish to change that. That it's a wrong timing, etc. But I believe strongly that America want this to happen, and America is going to be the first one. Actually, already we have a council in Kurdistan. So all what we need to do, changing the name from a council to an embassy, as simple as that. You know. There is, you know, we mentioned about we don't want to change the topic, and somebody is asking me about the prophecy of September 23rd. Already we are September 24th, right? And already we exposed those liars. You know, those guys don't believe anyone tell you about the date of you know, next week the judgment day will happen. And you know, those mad people, you know, you see, Muslims, they have mad people, and Christians, they have some weird people who eat too much hummus. You know what I mean? Yeah, so we have such like some Christians the same as Muhammad. They have some mental issue. So don't listen to those people. The Bible is so clear. No one know the day and the hour save the Father. That's it. Anyone try to give you a date and start, you know, this is a shish kebab guy. He is either making a business or making money of it. Just stay away from them. Here we go. They keep talking about last month we have what, August 21st. August 21st, the eclipse, whatever, blah blah blah, a big sign and articles, blah blah blah. Okay, eclipse happened. It's a normal eclipse. I made a video about it. I told everybody this is garbage. You know, don't listen to them. And the same, you know, after 2 weeks, here we go, September 23rd, and unique, what is going to happen, blah 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 blah, and nothing happened. And okay, and soon you will see they will come back. They will come back with a new month, with a new day. They will never stop. Those people, they are making money from it. It's a business. Now let's continue here. I believe that this is the start of the collapse of Islam. Kurdistan, by having their own establishment as a state, they have no choice except rejecting Islam totally, fighting Islam totally, because Islam brought nothing to them except disaster and killing. Do you know what Saddam Hussein did to them? Saddam Hussein, he did use chemical weapons. He killed more than 10,000 people in one town. All of them are Kurdish. And just to show you how hypocrites the Muslims are, when Saddam Hussein hit Halabja, which is a Kurdish, you know, in Kurdistan, by chemical weapon, not even one Muslim went in the street to say something against Saddam Hussein. Not even one. In the West, in the East, in even those who live in Europe, nobody. Because Saddam Hussein, for the Muslim Sunni, he is a hero. He is killing the Kurdish. Chemical weapon, not just, you know, I mean, 10,000 people in one day. Imagine, it's not like the whole year, the whole war, just in one day. So Muslims are hypocrites, and by the crimes they committed against the Kurdish now, they hate Islam to death. They don't want Islam to be even close to them. Every Kurdish person is anti-Islam. So this is going to be like the let us say the new start of a new era where Christianity is going to re-implemented in the Middle East. And actually already I know, I have a friend who I visited him before. They have 2 radio stations. This person alone, he have 2 radio stations who they are broadcasting in Kurdistan, Christian stations, you know, legally, officially. And even the government, they give them the license. He said the license was given to us over one day. We did not even like wait for the second day. You know, this is how easy it was. You know, they are welcoming them. Come preach the gospel, invite people to Christianity, no problem. Build the churches. You are more than welcome. And more and more and more Kurdish are converting to Christianity. But it's not the same to those who they are trying to be Islamist. The Kurdish, they are tracking them and they are kicking them out because they have a very long history of faith of Islam in their territory, and enough is enough. So Israel now should take a stand, additional stand, not only saying I'm going to approve this election. Israel should take a stand, an army stand, and immediately after the Kurdish announce their independence, Israel should, with the agreement of the Kurdish, I'm very sure they will be happy to have that, to send arms forces and tanks and missiles and all, because those people, they are now depending in no one except friends who share, let us say, interest. You see, in the world of international world, there's no really friends, there's benefit, people, they share benefit. So Israel have a great benefit from the Kurdish, and Kurdish, they can have a great benefit from Israel. There's no love really. It's not about love, I love you and you love me. This does not really exist between countries. This is about benefit, what you can do for me and what I can do for you. So Kurdish, their existence depend in a few countries supporting them, because everybody almost against them, especially in the location we are located, and which is very important, because if you notice here with me, the Kurdish, they have a problem, and the problem is they don't have any access almost to the sea. You know what I mean? Their access really good. If we go to Google, as I know, there is no access, not even small one, to the sea. So that will be really a problem for the Kurdish in the long run, because export, import, everything is going to be by air, and if the countries around them are going to make, let us say, sanctions against them, and they will not open their borders, then the Kurdish, they will suffer badly. If we go to Google, we open Google Earth, just to look at the map. We clean the screen, and then we go to Kurdistan. Kurdistan. All right. Okay, this is the major territory for the Kurdish. All right. Now, as you see, there is nothing around them where they are connected to the sea. As I know, they are surrounded by land from every direction, and the only way to get into the sea, if they get their Kurdish brothers to make a revolution here and maybe reach all the way to this area, and this is important. This is impossible. Tehran is very important, very close to Kurdistan, as you see. If you look with me, I don't know if it's clear for you in the map. Let us zoom in. So taking a decision of independence or independent is not really easy, because they don't have any borders with any friends. Zero. How they are going to get their import and export? Who is going to provide them with such an exit to the world? Even their airlines have to fly over other territory, which is like, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Syria. There's no choice. And all those countries, they are 100% against the independence of the Kurdish. So how they will maintain their, let us say, import export. I'm not sure really how they do it. Look like everything is going to be by airplanes, especially in the beginning when they establish the state, because Iran will put sanctions on them, Turkey will put sanctions, Syria will put sanctions, Iraq will put sanctions, and they have no borders with Israel. So already they are surrounded by every enemy is possible to be enemy, and they are already actually enemies. So taking the independent is going to be very hard, but look like the Kurdish are very much sure they want to do that. So I believe in the beginning is going to be very much full of a struggle, because I believe right away the Turkish, they will start putting their sanctions, they will close the borders with them, they will not allow any import or export. The Iranian